Welcome to another episode of the Jampack Report, today for January the 21st of 2021. Of course, my name is Samuel Adams, and this is a daily gaming news podcast meant to bring you the hottest news you need to know from around the industry, hosted on YouTube and podcast services around the world 5 days a week. It's your one-stop shop for everything you need to know. So if you enjoy the show and you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and keep coming back for more. But there's a lot of confusion around Xbox Game Pass right now, specifically in regards to the status of Fall Guys, the Jelly Bean parkour game that came out last year on PlayStation 4 and PC, could be coming to Xbox Game Pass, but right now that is unequivocally false, according to a lot of sources, but something's just strange with this story. Let's go ahead and dive into it. The official Xbox Game Pass Instagram account shared, in a reply to a fan requesting Fall Guys be added to Game Pass, that it's coming. However, Devolver Digital quickly put out a statement on Twitter saying that Fall Guys would not be coming to any form of Game Pass, followed by the Xbox Game Pass Twitter account confirming the same, and of course the official Fall Guys account echoing the exact same statement. So, as it stands right now, either wires have gotten very crossed, or somebody that runs one of these social accounts accidentally said something that they should not have. In my opinion, I think that Fall Guys could be coming to Game Pass, but it's still in these preliminary stages. I think that it's probably in discussions because you saw the success of the game through PlayStation Plus. And so if the game were to leap over to Xbox Game Pass and make its debut on the Xbox ecosystem, that would be the exact same scenario. The game would see a resurgence, more people would start playing, and hopefully crossplay would even be enabled to where you just have this one giant ecosystem of Jelly Bean people playing with each other across consoles and PC. So ultimately, right now, no, Fall Guys is not coming to Xbox, it's not coming to Game Pass, it's just kind of out there in the ether. But again, it's weird to see these statements from official accounts coming through and saying that yes, Fall Guys will be coming, and then pivoting very quickly to confirm that it's not. I would say that it's probably going to be on its way at some point in the next couple of weeks. But hey, don't take my word for it. Stay tuned to the official accounts, and of course I will let you know when it hits, if it is in fact coming. But man, what a good fit, because again, the success seen through PlayStation Plus is unlike anything Devolver had seen before. But on top of that, from Capcom, revenue is on the rise. Capcom has announced that they are adjusting their year-end predictions, now expecting sales to be 8.2% higher at $889 million, with net income expected to be up 16.7% at $203 million. The Japanese publisher attributes their success to growing sales in the digital contents business, saying, quote, "We have seen a solid performance by the new title Resident Evil 3, along with continued growth in high-margin catalog titles with long sales cycles, such as Monster Hunter World Iceborne, which was released in the previous fiscal year." They go on to share that Monster Hunter Rise pre-orders are strong ahead of its scheduled March release, ultimately contributing even more to that success. While last year's Resident Evil 3 also played a part in boosting sales, Capcom has been public about the lackluster sales as compared to 2019's Resident Evil 2. Even so, the publisher shared that the game has sold in line with its PlayStation 1 counterpart, which also sold fewer copies as compared to previous entries in the franchise. So Capcom is on the rise. See what I did there? Because Monster Hunter Rise is also on the way, which is going to be a very significant game for the Nintendo Switch players that is launching in March. Definitely keep an eye on that one if you are a Monster Hunter fan and you want to see what Nintendo's little piece of hardware can do. But Capcom is earning this, because over the course of the past 5 years or so, we've seen Capcom pivot and really see a resurgence because they're making games for everyone that is a fan of their long-running franchises. I mean, you're looking at stuff like the Resident Evil remakes, which bring back that classic Resident Evil approach. Then you see experimental new entries in the franchise, like RE7 and what is coming with RE8. That is certainly catering to a slightly different audience, but it is finding an audience. And then on top of that, of course, Monster Hunter World is absolutely killing it, and then you have this new Monster Hunter, you can see where Capcom is going with this, and they're doing pretty well with their approach. But if you do want to see more, of course, VGC has the entire report over there, but it's going to be a very exciting year for Capcom. I'm excited to see the new Resident Evil, of course, and I actually am about to dive into Resident Evil 3 later this weekend whenever I find some time. I only played the demo that came out last year, but I'm looking forward to checking it out in full. But hey, Capcom is certainly making some interesting moves, and I'm excited for the future of their company. However, another company I'm excited about is Valve, because Gabe Newell has confirmed multiple projects are in the works. The Valve CEO confirmed that the company has multiple projects in the works during an interview with One News. However, fans looking at hints for what's to come will be disappointed. When asked about these games and grilled on the rumored game, codenamed Citadel, Newell quickly shifted the subject and avoided details. "We definitely have games in development that we are going to be announcing. It's fun to ship games," he says. Now, you can read about the entire interview here on DualShockers and find more on One News itself, but ultimately not too much to be seen here except for the confirmation that more is coming. Now, this news comes the year after the release of Half-Life Alyx, which was a major AAA VR game. In fact, it was kind of the first of its kind that really showed what VR could do, and it won awards for this purpose. So I think the big question here is, number one, what are we going to be seeing? And number two, when are we going to be seeing it? And to address that first question, it really is up in the air. And of course, I have no insider information. This is just me speaking my thoughts. But I think that what you are going to be seeing is probably a blend of experimental projects like what you saw with Half-Life Alyx, where you're pushing the medium forward, and then on top of that, stuff that is smaller. I'm thinking about the developers of In the Valley of Gods. They're now under the Valve umbrella, and so what are they working on? Is it going to be In the Valley of Gods? I don't know what that title is going to be. The last I heard, I believe that game was on the back burner or potentially canceled indefinitely. I'm not sure about the status of it as of 2021. But ultimately, a lot of potential at Valve. They have plenty of funding because of Steam as a platform. In a way, they're almost like Epic now, where they have the developers and they have the funding from an external source. You just have to put two and two together and boom, make something good. But Gabe is talking about it, and hints are starting to be dropped, through the fact that there are now statements confirming projects are in the works. So hopefully we will see more information sooner rather than later, but I would not hold your breath on that one, because again, we're talking about Valve here. But now let's talk about Predator, because the Predator has come to Fortnite. 1980s sci-fi villain and hero, the Predator, has joined the Fortnite roster as part of the Chapter 2 Season 5 Battle Pass. Players can unlock the Predator outfit, emote, heat vision hunter spray, banner, and emoticon by simply leveling up in the game with their Battle Pass enabled. Predator comes during the 0 Point arc, bringing in legendary hunters from across the movie, television, and gaming industries through the likes of The Mandalorian, Kratos, and Master Chief. And of course, on top of that, you also have Daryl Dixon and Michonne, I believe, if I remember correctly, from The Walking Dead. But very cool looking little setup you've got here. I must admit, I'm pretty impressed with what I've seen. I'm not a Fortnite player. I dive in from time to time, every 6 to 8 months or so. Just when a cool skin drops, I jump back in whenever Master Chief was a thing. But ultimately, Predator is a cool addition as well, and I like this kind of legendary hunters approach they're taking with their skins this season. I think it's cool to see these collaborations between PlayStation and Sony, and then you have Xbox and Microsoft bringing in other elements as well. Then you have the television with The Walking Dead and The Mandalorian, and now you have Predator. I'm excited to see what's to come. I like these skins, and while I don't play it, I know that a ton of people do enjoy diving in and seeing what those new skins have to offer. Cosmetics are cool and they make money. I understand how some people could be frustrated, but when I can make my character look like Predator, I can't really complain that much, you know what I mean? But I'll tell you who I want my Fortnite character to look like, and that is Tingle. I mean, look at those tights, how could you not? But I bring this up because the design is so fantastic. That designer's name, Takaya Imamura, and he has now retired from Nintendo after 30 years. As a designer, Imamura helped bring to life some of the most iconic Nintendo titles like F-Zero, Star Fox, and The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. As pointed out by many outlets, Imamura also created Tingle, the tights-wearing map merchant that many have come to love in the Legend of Zelda franchise. And so I bring up Imamura because he has single-handedly, in many ways, shaped the perception of a lot of players of Nintendo. His design, his creations have really put a stamp on an entire era of gaming, and while there are so many people behind the scenes that make what we see every day possible, it's important to recognize this man and his contributions to Nintendo and to the gaming industry as a whole. And so you see him on Facebook here saying, "Last day of work, selfie with an empty company. When I think I'm not going to get in here anymore, I miss you so much. I'm tired for 32 years." Of course, you can see the original, there's the translation. Probably a bit off there, but ultimately, congratulations to the legend himself for retiring from Nintendo and for a lifetime of incredible achievements. Very good job. But that rounds out today's episode of the Jampack Report. If you enjoyed today's show, drop me a like down below and let me know what stories caught your eye. But until tomorrow, I'll talk to you soon, and peace.